Yep. They said
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So you want me to start, Killer? We good to
Yes.
go? All right. So what I mainly want to say about the OOC thing, first thing I want to do is just say the whole OOC thing, the way how I felt was being handled when I learned information, it felt OOC to me. Talking with admins, they agreed that it was slightly OOC, but they're going to make rules around it, and things are going to be a lot more clear. I'm not going to really do that again. It was just kind of annoying on my end because the United City States was a group we have had pretty much zero interaction with in game. I have never talked to one of their leaders in game. I've only ever talked to our leaders once or twice out of game before the role got created. And this is all talking OC, by the way. So it was kind of throwing me off when I started getting messages after messages. The first one was, it was only one. It just sounded like someone got tipped off about something. They let me know. We just blew it off. Then I got two more immediately afterward from more trusted sources, and then I got one more pretty much soon right after that from another trusted source. And when you start getting spammed with that many DMs about stuff, about a war going on that you had nobody, with a group that you had zero interaction with in game, it really just rubbed me the wrong way. It felt OOC to me, so I just want to make that clear of how I felt during that situation. Again, apologize with the way I handled it. Probably could have done that a little bit better. Probably could have made it more of like an in-game board announcement, similar to what I did within our own Discord to rile people up. But other than that, yeah, that's, I don't know where, like, is that what we want to do? We just want to like get our version of it and then pass it on?
Yes, and then afterwards
Okay.
I will put the two together to get a more clear out result.
Yeah. Again,
Alright.
I just want to say I think it was just, yep, no, that's fine. I just want to say it was probably just a misclarification of how we both understood the rules and stuff like that. I like taking endgame interactions a little bit more personally. If people want to declare war and do stuff like that, that's completely fine. I'm up for it. Conflict's fun. But I would rather it be done in an organic way rather than we've only seen you at the summit. We've only seen you guys once. We've never interacted with your group except for maybe having like some of our other members talk with your group or have interaction with your group but not leadership itself, and then basing the entire thing off of that. So I'll just pass the stick from here. I want to see how Loth views it as well. I think I need to understand his position a little bit more before I can make a more concise what would be the word? More concise opinion on the whole matter. So here
Alright.
we go.
Law.
Okay, so to start, our reasonings for wanting war in character was mostly at this last summit, with the tiebreaker vote going towards getting the towards the relic before that all the votes have been calculated. Generally, we felt that was a push to go for relics, and I think most people on the server are against the relics in general, just the idea of one faction controlling the summit. And you know, generally, just being the largest alliances, it's not completely, I feel, out of the field to say that there would be some tension. Compounded by it is hard to interact with people that are an hour's walk away from you. Like, just genuinely, again, the issue other people have brought up about the server is that the map's probably a bit too big, people are a bit too spread out, it's hard to interact. Like, I don't think there's been a single a territory dispute whatsoever.
I'm sorry for cutting it. I actually have, there actually has been one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I apologize for being wrong about that. I hadn't heard about it.
It was just like two small groups of players trying to claim an iron mine. That was it.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, any of the all of my actions have only been off of information I have gathered in game or in the in-game general chat. You really need to talk to Deltum about OPSEC. So, you know, in any of the chats I've had with people, I've kept everything in character and to in-character knowledge and in-character reasonings. So, yesterday morning, it was extremely surprising when you made an announcement calling me a liar out of character. If you in character called my character a liar, I would have been all right with that. But it truly just felt like a personal attack, which was compounded by the announcement on your server saying they hate we are a fun group of people and some such. That felt just purely slanderous and inflammatory beyond the scope of the game. Generally, that is ideally what I would like to get resolved here. Is those out of character accusations?
All right. Is there anything else you would like to add, or?
I feel that is a good opening.
All right. Bo, with everything that you have heard up to right now, is there any things that you would like to clarify?
Yeah. Again, the whole thing, when the way it was handled, the way I was getting information, it was all out of character, so that's why I kind of took a nosy. Probably could have done that better. I do admit that at my point now. Because it was just unclarification on our rules. When I was talking to Brent before this server started and I was getting an idea how the whole in-character thing was supposed to happen, I was told anything through Discord, even on the in-character chat, was not supposed to be taken serious until it was discussed in game. Brent was very adamant on wanting to use like letters for long-distance travel and stuff like that. We've tried our best to do that. So again, that was just miscommunication. The whole thing, when we were reading through the DMs, again, it felt kind of like that to us also felt OC, even if that was meant to be in character on your side. It was taken as OC on our side when we were talking in our leadership chat and everything about it. Again, miscommunication on our part, just the rules weren't really set up and we misunderstood that. So again, I will, like I said in my final message in the out of character thing, I apologize for the misunderstanding. I reached out to the admins and they clarified up the situation. I told them I agree I could handle that a little bit better, and next time I'll keep everything more to in character. But it's just kind of weird when I start getting information about about a war with a group I've had very little interaction with, when leadership has had very little interaction with. Our members have had some interaction, and I talked to Killer about one of the major interactions, which I had no idea what happened up until that point when it came to one of the leaders of the culinary union and stuff like that. If there has been issues like that and that is seen as out of character, bullying, or anything of the like, please bring it to us. We're not unreasonable. If someone's hopping out of line, I don't want it to be seen as we are all hopping out of line. I don't condone any type of action or anything like that. Again, that was by members, not by leadership. And leadership really can't do anything if we don't know what's going on in the first place. That being said, yeah, the out of character thing completely could have been handled a bit better on my end. I do apologize on that part. But when it comes to war and actions taken in the war like that, I would like there to be a little more, in the future, this is for just future reference, I'd like there to be a little bit more actual in-game conflict between the groups and diplomatic talks between the groups, because you guys were talking about the relics and how we were trying to go for multiple relics, which is not true. If you talk to our characters in-game, or even just myself and out of character, you can probably easily see that we keep everything open and transparent within our Discord. I have sheets of all our member lists. I have our treasury open so people can see all our currency and how much is in treasury and such like that. So I'm just open with being transparent. I don't think hiding or doing secrets is a good way of handling any type of business. That's how we handled the pirates pretty well, and that's why the pirates really don't try to interact with us, because they couldn't do any of their espionage. Just the way I handle things from running other groups in the past. But when it comes to, again, wanting to start war or anything like that, I just want it to be clear. I hope that we can get more rules based on lead up to a major conflict, because two major factions warring with each other is a major conflict. Oh, need food?
Yeah, got bread.
I don't got the bread. Just run off real quick. Oh, I'll be one of those back.
Okay. Shit, is there anywhere I can? There's nowhere I can place this.
No.
You
I
have
can't
to-
break
you'll
snow.
have to- You'll have to run out.
Well, I
Oh,
guess
wait,
so.
I'll wait
Okay.
for
You don't need to
worry.
place the frog.
You
just,
can
just click on it with a bowl
in your inventory.
in
Oh.
your inventory.
Did not know that.
Oh,
Yeah.
alright.
There you go.
And continuing?
Alright, so, yeah. Okay, now they're all one fag. I'll actually need to eat a little
Oh, that
bit,
might have
so-
gone past you.
Perfect. So when that all happened, where was I at? Sorry, I was up all pretty much half the night talking with Wolf during an interview. I was talking about the way that happened. One thing I just want to clarify here is I'm hoping that we can talk and work together with admins to get more clarification on when major powers want to start conflict and how it will be handled in the future. Because there should probably be more interaction between our groups before anything is said. Again, when we're talking about the relics, it seemed like you guys believed we want to go for more relics, which is not the case. We went for one of the other relics during the second summit to give to one of our allies as a second nuclear deterrent. We do not wish to have all three. That is me in character saying that. We don't want a full control summit. That's not fun for everybody. If people have seen how we have handled the currency or any of the rewards we got in the summit, or just how we've handled our group all with all the independence, if you just talk to us, maybe like if you've heard about our Adventurers Guild or stuff like that, we use all these rewards to help the smaller factions around our local area. We don't really try to keep any rewards. We have almost everything we need already. We are a big enough group, we can easily produce and build and do whatever. And my whole thing when I started this was I was not originally planning to be a bigger alliance or faction. I just wanted to be a bigger kingdom as a whole, more independent. But I met up with a couple other great building guilds, and we ended up forming a alliance that could actually just, have fun and build a massive mega project that would be a centerpiece of the server, because at the time we only thought the server was going to last like a month and a half to 2 months, which is not a lot. I think it's enough to do one big project. And I have my pull back. Thank you.
Oops, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Alright.
And just, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, about the ops. I keep hearing that. Again, talk to me in character about that. Everything we do within Fashion Steel, Keep, or anything is completely transparent and open for a reason. There is no OPSEC. That is kind of the fun of, for one, letting people know what's going on with our group and everything. We have the only chat we have that's privatized is our leadership chat, and that's more to gather opinions on what's going on and to talk about recent discussions, not really to plan or scheme. And we usually, most of the chat that we have in there gets brought up to the forefront anyways. So if people want to ever just know what's going on with us or wants to get in contact with us, it's very, very easy. I made it super transparent and easy for other groups, larger factions, to want to take that initiative. Even though some people say, like, okay, we're a couple, like, there's time zone differences and all that, you are still free to reach out, like, within our diplomacy chat. You can DM me to meet up in time. At a time, you can send a diplomat to handle the situations, and I'm more than willing to hop on almost any time. Like, again, I was talking with Killer up until, like, midnight last night, even though I had to wake up at 6 a.m. today.
3:30 in the
we were
morning
having a
for
good
me.
Conversation. Yeah, it I'm willing to spend the extra time, even if I have to, like, wreck my own sleep, to clear things up and to have a good conversation. And like with me and Killer's conversation, I've never really talked with Killer up until that point, and we cleared a lot of things up that should have been cleared up prior to this. And definitely, it's not just in-game stuff. A lot of that was out of character stuff that was not appropriate. So, again, a lot of that should have been cleared up. And one thing I want to make a statement on before I move on, talk about that out of character stuff. If any character within any of our groups is acting out of line, harassing, if you feel like they're bullying you or anything like that, make a admin ticket. The admins can deal with it, and if anything happens with them, that's great. If it's something that's a little more minor, we will absolutely take care of it. But if it's anything major, you let us know what's going on. You can bring a ticket to the admin. I have no personal grievance against that. If someone's being a dip about harassing people and not understanding communication cues, maybe it's just, again, issue with communication. Maybe they're just an asshole. I don't know. I've not really got that from any of my members. But the way they act with us and the way they act with outside groups could be completely different. So if there's any issues that feel out of character or start breaking that line, please bring it up. All right.
Is there
I'll pass the
anything
talk
else?
stick
Could I actually have the stick? I would like to
that. Oh, yes.
sum some stuff up. Okay, so from what I'm seeing, a lot of this could have been easily avoidable, if we're honest here. A lot of these things were taken way out of context, and a lot of these things were misinterpreted by both sides. I feel one of the biggest factors that was that caused this was a lack thereof a clear rules of the division between OOC and IC, and that caused a lot of misinterpretation, miscommunication. And I agree in a way with what Bo says, that a lot of these things could have been easily avoided and brought up previous to that. In some of these regards, I kind of disagree. Some of these things, for example, in the example of somebody bullying someone, be it our character, I think that it shouldn't just be in character, in game to speak about that. You should also have the ability to speak about that outside of the game. However,
Absolutely.
that was
Did I
not
make that
done.
clear?
Yeah. What's the word? Although it wasn't really done in that case, which honestly, I still feel like it could have been pretty avoidable. All of this, a lot of this. Honestly feel like all of these two grievances are pretty tied down to the fact of misinterpreting and miscommunicating. Nothing more, nothing less. And honestly, I feel like we could actually come out from that better and bigger than ever. Because, let's be honest here, it's just a game. And we're taking pot shots like this. We already learned from the Pirates and what that ends up being when people can become complete assholes for no apparent reason other than the fact to do so. So let's not go that route, please. I'm not saying anybody here has, but to avoid it for as long as possible. Alright. Here you go, Laugh.
Then I just wanted to say relating to what Bobo had to say right before you. In general, I feel a bit maybe the biggest issue was that there isn't really a clear and distinguished goal for the server as to what the general want is. I feel a lot of factions just end up wanting a different thing out of the server. Like, I am here for complex politics and conflict and all that good stuff. In general, but just right now, my biggest concern is the announcement on the Northern Light server, which has some clear out of character insults I would like rectified. If you could maybe delete it and repost it with more in character context. And also just as a question, I am still very confused about who could have possibly DM'd you information about our plans, which, in terms of interaction, these plans were for the start of spring, so there still would have been a couple weeks out for plenty of interaction and reasoning. Like, these were long-term plans, not, okay, next Friday we're gonna go try to fuck up Bastion. It was more for a longer-term plan.
Stick.
What?
Stick.
Stick.
Thank you. To clarify some doubts and questions, could you clarify and point out where you feel that you're personally being attacked in said announcement, and as well as, well, no, that was it. Sorry. Just need a clarification on that before continuing.
Yeah, generally, it was the multiple times I said that we were lying to people to try to get them as allies. There was a general statement, but be that I was the only one going out doing cross-faction diplomacy on the subject. Any information you had about cross-faction diplomacy we were having would have directly related to me. You would have known it was me.
Stick.
You want just stick.
Yes, I want the stick. I can tell you're a good person and this is just a game and you want to play and have fun, but someone has come to me and said stuff, your group, I don't know if you said it directly, maybe you did, about one of my members being a bit of an asshole when he explained it to me is he didn't really know what was going on, and it kind of just soured relations with a whole nother group because no one decides to go talk to the leaders. I think that needs to be a bit done more. And also, some people were saying the outreach was coming off as a little weird, but I don't know what they mean by a little weird. That's it. You're gonna have to stick back.
Okay. Again, I'm still very confused about who my DM to, because I only ever talked to 2 factions, and talking to these people, those conversations I had with them never made it to other people, so I'm still confused about what other interactions you might be talking about. In relation to Akaiji was just talking about with that, I think that was relating to the Culinary Union, and I can't remember their name, but who whatever their name was, they went over to Culinary Union members and said some things that the Culinary Union leadership felt was very inflammatory to them. I mean, if they didn't mean it that way, that is an issue on their part for not wording things correctly.
Stick.
Obviously, that is the issue with any conversation, is interpretation.
Can I get the stick?
Oh.
I haven't had to talk for a minute.
Yeah, here you go, Bob.
Thank you. Alright, just to make clear, I don't want to give away my sources on who told me. Again, I will absolutely say it was 4 sources. That I will absolutely stick on. 2 of them show me personal information that about the war and the plans that was being done at OC. They didn't also agree with how it was being handled from as my personal view. I would just say, if you are going to be DMing people and trusting them with information about larger stuff like that, do it in character and in game. Because information does not stay directly within DMs. You guys have not had interaction with Bastion Steel, and I have not had interaction with the United States, city-states.
The Culinary Union has.
I'm leadership. I have never met Murphy in game, and I don't believe any of my leaders or any of the other leaders have. The leaders being Mercedes of the Kingdom News, Dotem of the Scholars of the Rust, Akuji of the Masons Without Borders, and then we have 2 second-in-commands who they push up information when they talk to, which is Ali, who mainly runs our kitchen and stuff like that. That's who was being reached out to join the Culinary Union for one of the issues with them, which me and Killer Wolf talked about that briefly. If Killer wants to get the stick afterwards and talk about that, he can. I think that should be cleared up absolutely, because that was very, very misinterpreted. Leaderships should have got together and handled that if they believed that there was inflammatory statements being made. The other issue with the Culinary Union, leadership had zero idea any of that was going on. There should have been a ticket to the admins if it was being breached in the OC, because it sounded to me, the way it was explained to me, it did sound like bullying. They took it a little too far, and they said things they probably should not have said. It didn't sound like it would warrant heavy punishment on the server side itself, but in our group, it would have absolutely got the person sidebarred probably for the rest of the season. I'm strict on that. Yes.
I will say the person that is being... What is the word? What is the word I'm looking for? Accused, yes. Zane. He did tell me in character he is fine with being a prisoner or working for the Culinary Union as an apology, if any of them want to accept that. He basically was having a bad mental week. This is from how he explained it to me. He was having a very stressful and bad mental week and was talking to other members of the Northern Alliance and was not directly talking to someone from the Culinary Union. That's how he explained it to me. But yeah, he's willing to work for the Culinary Union or be a prisoner for a bit as an apology.
Could I get the stick book?
Yeah.
So about that whole situation, because I was there as like as a witness, I guess, as a bystander, because he had walked up directly. He wasn't just talking to Northern Alliance members. He had walked up directly to Murphy and was saying these things to them, and he was also discussing with Tara, who is also a member of a different faction in the city-state. So it wasn't just a what we happened to overhear thing. He went up to some of us, and specifically Murphy, who is leader of the Culinary Union, said that stuff.
I would like to stick for a moment.
Oh wait, stick after kill then.
I would like to confirm this notion, even though I wasn't present during the whole thing that happened. I did have my headset on while I was cooking at that moment, and I heard the entire encounter. I was there, and I can confirm that the person, when they came up, they directly talked to Murphy, not just through overhearing things.
Okay. Now I was... Yeah, okay, stream VOD, gotcha. I was not at last summit, sadly, because I was at work IRL, and hopefully they don't hold it so early next summit. But pretty much, that's what his words to me were, but everyone else is now saying that it wasn't like that, and, you know, majority. That's fine. I would like to still say, if y'all are okay with him apologizing and working for you, that's fine, but if it's out of character, he might probably be out. And this is a thing, like Bo was saying, please bring this to the leadership of groups. An action of one member is not the majority. Please. Yeah, here you go.
So I can finish that as well. Yeah, so like Kuji said, that was the first time when Killer brought it up that I heard about that. It sounds like Zane went to Akuji to talk about it, but Akuji didn't know the full scope of things, and it kind of got brushed off. Again, when something is brought out of character, if it's against anybody, and I mean out of character to that extent where it feels like bullying, make an admin ping about it, and let's get this settled. And that includes, like, with the actions I did. If that felt like bullying, what I did, absolutely. Bring it to admins, which, luckily, people started pinging them, and they did, and we got it clarified. And we got both our... As far as I know, to how the admins handled it, we both got our pieces across, and they didn't take any action for discipline, because both sides had issues with the clear lack of rules, which are now being rectified. But... please, again, talk with us a little more. A lot of this just boils down to our groups have never really interacted. Everybody, like, when it comes to United City States, I have not interacted with anybody from their group. Yeah, I've interacted with probably 90% of the independent or smaller factions, and that's either through ways of the Adventurers Guild, through them just coming through our street. A lot of people saw after we won the minting right, a couple days after that, I started offering for people to come to our town and get 10 free narcs for visiting. We had so many people for a week. That's all I was doing was just diplomacy and talking with people. So, for Loth, I'm sorry, I can't disclose everyone who gave away that information because that's not fair for them since they brought it up to me in private as a informant. You can already probably guess the two people you mainly talk to. But the other two, if you still don't know who they are, that's something in game I hope you guys can try to figure out. When it comes to situations like that, again, like I was saying, we are a group that runs deep. We've interacted with most other factions at least once. The United States is a special case, which maybe I should take a trip down there and talk and have a good time. It's just hard to get on my keep without my name being brought up 100 times. Yes, you talked to two people and all, but this information spread like wildfire immediately afterwards. The people who came up to me, so of the two, you can already guess who the two are. If it's not them directly, it went up the supply chain, up the command chain. That's what I will say. One of them was a separate person that I'm not sure maybe how you guys handled it, if you talked about it in game, if you talked in a Discord. I don't know how you handled it, but they got that information as well. And they were one of the first ones to tip me off. So I have no idea how you guys handle your internal information. As far as I know, your Discords aren't open like ours are. The only other Discord I'm in for any type of diplomatic meetings is a PRA, and that was just early on. Other than that, it's just the official server, our Adventurers Guild Discord, and our Discord itself. Those are the four I'm in. So, when it comes to the whole thing of how you're trying to figure this information out, that the last couple people is going to be to figure out that on your guys' own within character of how I'm getting this information, because that information was brought in character. Again, I don't know how they got the information then. I have 4 different people that tipped me off before the war, before I made the statement. And one of them is... Okay, if they got OC, I will go and talk to the other person and see how they got it. Again, I have no idea how they got information. That was one of the first ones that tipped me off. Yes.
Just to confirm, I have another question for you regarding that. Could you at least confirm or deny if any of these people you talk to are within the council? Not for any sake in character, but more for the sake of, well, we don't want them to look over their shoulders every time they're talking to their friends either. I feel that's a bit unfair.
I don't know what their position within any ranks are. All I know is they came to me. I've had a couple interactions with them beforehand. I don't know what their relations with the United States are. Again, they just came because we've had good conversations in the past. I don't believe they're in any part of leadership, though. So the way they got their information is completely unbenign to me. I will talk to them and see how they got that information, and I'll try to figure out what's going on there. If that is appropriate, but this will have to take maybe a day or two to get handled because we are on different time zones. That being said, okay, perfect. That being said, when it came to my statements, this is more for Loth. When it came to the statements in our own Discord, that is for our own Discord. That is considered. It might be read as OOC. It's more meant as in character as a way to, you know, rally the troops, get people ready. Because we got word of a surprise war declared against us, and we found plans of a declared war against us, and the Northern Alliance is a fully defense aligned pack. We do not go on the offense. We don't want to ruin the experience for anybody. If we want to have conflict, and this is something leadership can talk about, we are 100% open to making an open battlefield, making sure so one side isn't completely overnumbered from the other, to make it equal numbered, and to have an all-out just fest. Let me reread my statement real quick, because I've been rereading it a couple times, and maybe I just have to see it in a different light.
Once you reread that, Bo, I would like to stick.
Yes. Yeah, here, you can do it while I'm rereading it. Just,
Alright.
I'll ask you for a stick back.
Yeah. So, just to clear up, I think, Loth, personally, this could be being extremely misinterpreted on your end, and you still feel like that. It's a personal attack to you. However, from the amount of evidence and the amount of stuff that has been seen and analyzed, not just by Bo, not just by me, but by third-party people, I feel like that announcement has nothing out of character to bring up in that statement. And the only thing that I could discern that could maybe be interpreted as out of character would be calling liar and slander, but even then, most of it has essentially seen to be in character, and I don't find any real way or motive to to point it out as anything less or anything other than. Sorry. Another thing, we haven't really received a concrete answer on pointing out where exactly you feel you're being called out on. That paragraph does not show much.
Not that paragraph. It was in the original first post Bo made in general out of character.
Yes.
Yes, not in that announcement.
Yeah, I mean that's out of character. That was, again, sorry for taking a stick away and all that. Just so we can clear, I do apologize for that. That could have been handled a lot better. The announcement's kind of buried now. If you want me to go and delete that announcement, I have no issue with going and deleting it. I think it should be left there as transparency for my own stupidity. I will say that. I own up to it. I apologize, and with that whole thing, when it blew up out of character, it was one of my intentions to get people to start talking about what's going on. I did not like the way that this was being handled. I did not like the fact that I was getting DM'd from multiple people, and I did not like the fact that two groups which had rarely interacted with each other on a leadership basis now suddenly one wants to be aggressor and start conspiring plans of war. If I'm all good for plans of war, but I just want to have more interaction with our people because your group and the alliance as a whole, I have had very little interaction with on a leadership basis, and well, zero interaction with the leadership basis, and very little interaction on the on-player basis. I've only out of that whole alliance, which I don't know how many people you guys have on daily.
It's
I think
probably
I've
about
only
equal.
had about equal. Okay. If it's about equal, then
Bit more
only
spread out
about
because
2.
we're city-states as opposed to
Yes.
singular city.
Yeah, well, most people make their way up to our keep, which is all one big area. You've probably seen it. I'm not sure if you've seen it in game or out of character, but it's very easy to find me, and I've had only 2 interactions with people so far I know of that are from the United States as a whole. So we are very spread out, and we definitely do our own things. But if there's going to be 2 major factions, we should absolutely have some more leadership communication before plans like these start happening. I'm not saying like to artificially create conflict or to do stuff like that, but give more in-character reason to why 2 major factions should be warned, other than we think this and they are doing this. If you want to do that, completely fine. If at this point, completely fine. Admin's brought up, like, cleared it up for me. But on our side, I would just like to interact with people more. If there's going to be any diplomatic issues, it'd be fun for the leaderships to get together beforehand and talk about these diplomatic issues to clear the air. Because a lot of it seems to be from our own members, like, that are non-leadership, that are doing things which are aggregating. The only thing in leadership that we have done is with the Culinary Union, and that was denied in the embassy, which I was talking with Wolf and about last night during the interview. I'm pretty sure you can find the interview somewhere. Wolf maybe posted it or gave it to some people.
I
don't
haven't
know.
posted it yet. I need to.
But- Yeah, you're good. But we cleared the air about that immediately because a lot of that was also, I felt, taken out of context, and that's kind of what led to the issues between us and the Culinary Union. Which I, again, never talked to the leadership at Culinary Union. That was just what I only assume is one.
Fuck.